Well, good morning. Welcome back to another episode of the Angler's Logbook, and today we're continuing our trip here in Twizel. A couple of days ago we had a really awesome day fishing, which you would have seen in our last episode, fishing around a lake and a river on the fly rods. But today we're here with the same people. We've got Lance, Gareth and also Adam's joining us. We already were out this morning at around 5 a.m. I think, and had a very cold and unproductive session. So we're just come down here, we're going to try and catch a fish on the fly rod, and then we're thinking maybe a catch and cook this afternoon, but we'll see where the wind blows today, and hopefully we can get into some fish shortly. Lance has just spotted a fish down here, so I'm going to go down with the soft bait, see if we can get it with this softie. Whereabouts? Down below you? Down below you? No hits yet? The water level here is so low this morning, it's probably dropped a good 1.5 meters below its normal level. You can see where the grass is on the bank here. It's just quite convenient, makes this nice little walkway for me to get down here. In here? Sweet. Alright, we'll chuck this in and see if we can get onto where these fish have been surfacing. That's that program we were using from Savage. Caught so many salmon and rainbow trout on this thing. Snagged up. Oh, not on. I've got the old rockfish. Get lost everything there. Yeah, there's fish jumping right as I lose the spot. Gareth's hooked up. I just came up to retie that soft bait. He's got one on down the hill. Let's run down and have a look. Have you had a look at the fish yet?
It's pretty decent regardless, but it feels like it might be well where it's wrapped up in another second. Can I not see the fish? Yeah, I think it's just with the tail.
Pulling it in backwards.
Look at that, right See you, buddy.
Well, it's been a hard, long and slow morning for us. It's probably about midday now, and we've just shot down to a different part of the canals. Really hard pressed to try and get any fish for the table today, so we're going to chuck some softies in here. Lance is hooked up. Nice wee salmon. Big enough to eat.
Salmon and crackers.
Yeah, it's taken a lot of work to get that fish. Hey, 2 of them makes more of a decent sized lunch. Well, you definitely turn the day around. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually not bad. Eating size.
Yeah. Well,
that'd be dinner for 2. We'll get a bit later.
Catching that quick.
Yeah.
Be easy enough to get a bigger specimen.
Second car.
Oh, if anyone can. It's old fish adrift.
Just to impress the oldies across there. Just gotta make sure you're on the bottom, mate. That's all it is.
You're just drifting on the front of that platform.
Yeah. Hiding under that rope.
Might be the smallest one yet, is it? Yeah. They're all similar sizes though, eh? Yeah. Same again.
Salmon session.
think you definitely threw the best one back.
Yeah, how big was the bigger one?
Like
Bigger than that.
half a pound bigger maybe?
Where's your big brother? There should be some big ones hanging out of them.
Alright, so we're back at the house and we have got our wee salmon that we keep for the table. So today we're going to be making salmon tartare. If you want to make this for yourself, you can check out the recipe on our Instagram page, The Angler's Kitchen. It's got all the details, the ingredients and the recipe on there for you. But first up, we're going to just whip the fillets off this salmon and then we'll be ready to crack into it. Okay, so now that we've got the fillets off the salmon, and they are quite small fillets, we're just going to pull the skin off. So we really just want to get this to the point where it's just the meat in there, and then we're going to chunk that out, ready to go in our tartare. One of the keys with this is to make sure you've got a nice sharp knife for doing this. Definitely makes life a lot easier. I'm just using a nice sharp hunting knife that I've got, so I left the filleting knife at home, but this will do the trick for today. So one thing we want to make sure of with the salmon is that there's no scales over it. They do tend to go everywhere, and because we haven't scaled it, just need to make sure we get all of those off the fillet. Dry paper towel is a great way to do this. Keeps your meat nice and firm and gets rid of any of those scales. Make sure we don't take it any further through the process with us. Alright, so that's our salmon fillets all cleaned up, ready to go. They are little fillets as I mentioned, but it's plenty to feed the 4 of us today. So what we're going to do now is we're going to chunk this salmon up. It's an easy way to avoid having to remove the bones through the spine, so you don't need to go plucking out all those pin bones. Instead we'll just cut down either side of those and then chunk them and put them in a bowl. Okay, so we've got our bowl of salmon chunks here. Before that goes into the refrigerator for half an hour, we're going to add a couple of things to it. So we've got some tamari soy sauce. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of that. And then we're also going to add 2 teaspoons of lime juice. So we've got fresh lime here. Give it a bit of a roll. Get the juices moving. And we're just going to squeeze it in, making sure we don't get any seeds in there. So you can see there, our lime juice and soy sauce all mixed around with the salmon through it. And then our final thing to add is a bit of sea salt. And that is all ready to go into the refrigerator for half an hour. Just put a paper towel over it or a bit of Glad wrap, keep it covered, and in the meantime we'll get the rest of the dish ready. So now that our salmon is in the refrigerator and curing in that lime juice, the soy sauce and the sea salt, we've got 2 tablespoons of our white sesame seeds, and we're going to be sticking those on the heat inside. We're just going to add a little bit of oil to that, about a teaspoon or so, and then we're going to fry that until brown. If you do have access to some shallots as well, we'd normally dice some shallot into there as well, but unfortunately here in Twizel there wasn't any at the supermarket, so we're just going to fry these up, get them a golden brown, and just sort of starting to change colour. So that's our white sesame seeds all ready to go, and now what we're going to do is prepare the capers. So we've got a few capers here. You only need a tablespoon of them, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a tablespoon of olive oil into a small frying pan and just bring that up on a low to medium heat, and then just going to put these capers in for around 30 to 60 seconds, just until they begin to open up, and then we'll lift them out with a slotted spoon, sit them on a paper towel to dry, and let all that oil come back out of them. Well, we're in our final few minutes of the cook. Now that we've got those ingredients all browned up and ready to go, we're going to switch our attention to preparing the last couple of ingredients. So it's avocado and coriander. We're going to get the avocado out, cut it into chunks, and then we're going to get our coriander, finely chop that, and then within a couple of minutes we'll get the salmon out of the fridge and plate it up. We've also got a bit of French breadstick here, so we're going to cut that into slices, fry it in a bit of oil. We won't show you that part, but that's what we'll be serving it with if you want to make it for yourself. Okay, now that we've done all the work, it's the exciting part. We get to put it all together and finally eat it. So we've got our salmon here out of the refrigerator. That's been in there for half an hour. And first we're going to mix in the capers and our sesame seeds as well. So we're going to tip all those into the bowl. and then mix them through. Our capers we've had drying on this paper towel, get all the oil out of them so they're nice and dry now. Just shake those down. So there we have it, there's our ingredients all in the bowl. I'm just going to mix it through now. Try and get a nice even coating on the sesame seeds and the capers. Make sure all that salmon's got some of that flavour on it. And that is looking awesome to me. So what we've got here, we've got our plate that we're going to serve it on. We've got a wee ramekin or a ramekin substitute that is at the Airbnb, and so we're going to pack our salmon into that, and that's going to help us with plating it up, make it look nice and presentable. Okay, so that's all our salmon pushed in there, and it's actually about the perfect amount. So maybe it's just as well we got the perfect size salmon for this. But we've pushed that down, try and make sure it's nice and tightly pressed inside that ramekin so that it holds together, and then we're going to invert that onto our serving plate. And that's all good if a bit falls down, just adds to the presentation. And we're going to top it with a bit of avocado, a bit of coriander, a bit more salt. And our final ingredient, we're just going to drizzle over a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. And there we have it. So that is our salmon tartare all ready to plate. We'll serve it up with our French breadstick, and that's going to make a delicious entree for our dinner. So hopefully you've enjoyed this episode of the Angler's Logbook. It's a little bit different to what we'd normally do, but it's been such a beautiful day here exploring a bit of the backyard of Twizel, and we've really enjoyed our time here catching this salmon. So we're going to go eat this. I'm sure we'll enjoy it. And if you did enjoy this episode, please do subscribe to our channel. It supports us heaps. Drop the video a like, and we'll catch you in the next episode.